Which bit about the production procedure do you love the most? Which bit still makes you want to get up in the morning?
I think as a programme editor, being in the gallery on a big live night, when you've got a big live programme, it's the kind of it's the buzz, it's the excitement, it's the nervousness, it's the kind of will it go right, will it go wrong, moments of doubt, and it's just kind of exhilarating. I mean, this year's or last year's most watched TV programme for any genre was the England-Uruguay World Cup match, which we were lucky to have. BBC didn't have it, we had it, and that was watched by 20 million viewers. Now, that's great, but what you won't realise is that 2 hours before we went on air, in the gallery was at the International Broadcast Centre in Rio, which is about 10 miles away from the studio. It was in this massive kind of complex, a warehouse where all the world's broadcasters were based, all the technical equipment was based. 2 hours before we went on air, we had to evacuate our gallery and production area because of heavy rain and the roof was in danger of collapsing. So we were in and out, and so we were having to kind of mock up plans as to how we would get the programme on air without using the beach location studio, but having to get it direct on air with an hour's build-up from a pitch-side position at the match venue. So that was as exhilarating and as frightened as I've ever been on the programme, because you knew it was going to be a big audience, and that happened 2 hours before we were going on air. We were evacuated on 3 separate occasions before, and then finally we got the OK from the safety officers at the IBC saying, yes, OK, the roof is not going to collapse on you. You can go in there and make your programme now. The most enjoyable and rewarding for a variety of reasons was the World Cup, because we had the same studio set up as the BBC on the Copacabana. They were one floor above us. FIFA, because of various problems in Rio and Brazil, they realised that a lot of broadcasters weren't going to go there because it was so expensive, so FIFA built 10 purpose-built studios on the Copacabana beach. And we had one the same as the BBC, but we thought, well, rather than just being the same as the BBC, we took the opportunity, we kind of in advance booked out radio frequency signals, which enabled us to broadcast live on the beach. So I think the tone of our coverage was very much to kind of have some fun, treat the football seriously, but enjoy ourselves while we're out there. So we went out to Brazil, rather than kind of broadcast through the glass and say, there's the beach, we went out and dipped our toes in the water and the sand. And I thought, well, the way we did that was threw up a whole host of technical issues, as you can imagine, a whole host of security issues, as you can imagine. It was fraught at times, but the way we kind of came through that, and it was a different tone to the coverage. I think you would have realised there's a different tone. We were on the beach, BBC on the final night, they were all dressed in black suits and kind of looked like they're going to a funeral. We presented the final from the beach. So if you have 2 broadcasters presenting at the World Cup, there's no point in us both being the same. Let's do something differently. So I think we had a different approach, a different style and a different setup. Now, it might not have been to everyone's liking, but I think that the managing to pull that off in that location, in that setting, with all the factors that were kind of going on behind the scenes, I think was good. When I say behind the scenes, I mean on the first night, our studio was stoned because of the protests down the beach. So obviously you can imagine when I first said to people, oh, you know what, out there where the protests are, that's where we're going to go and broadcast the show on Sunday. You can imagine the instant reaction from certain people, but we overcame all those problems and issues, and I think that was to pull that off was kind of rewarding.